Hello, book people. P.T. Hilton here. I'm here today to do a book tag. I'm going to do the Winter is Coming tag. I've seen a few people recently do this tag. I saw Michael from Bitten by a Radioactive Book do it, and Samantha from Book Towers, and it looked like a lot of fun. The tag was originally created by Catherine. I'll put links to all those channels in the description below. This tag has 9 questions. Question number 1: Snow. It's beautiful when it first falls, but then it starts to melt. A book or book series that you loved at the beginning, and then at the middle of it, you realized you don't like it any longer. My answer for this one is Under the Dome by Stephen King. I'm a big Stephen King fan. I love Stephen King, but this one had a great concept, and I really enjoyed the first little bit of the book. But I felt like it kind of ran out of gas and went on a bit too long, and I wasn't particularly fond of the ending. And I usually like Stephen King books, even the ones that a lot of people don't like. Question 2: Snowflake. Something beautiful and always different. Choose a book that stands out, that's different from all the other books you've read. For this one, I'm gonna do Big in China by Alan Paul. This is kind of a memoir about a guy whose family moves to China. His wife takes a job in China, and his whole family relocates over there. And it's a very interesting book about his family kind of acclimating to life in China. And then while he's there, he starts a rock band in China and becomes quite popular, hence the title, Big in China. I don't read a lot of memoirs or a lot of these types of books, but I really enjoyed this one. If you're a fan of like Bill Bryson, those kind of books, I think you would really enjoy Big in China. Question number 3: Snowman. It's always fun to make one with your family. Choose a book that the whole family could read. I'm going to pick the book that I am reading with my daughter currently. I talked about this in the last video, but it is Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians. This is just so much fun. My family doesn't have any really little children in it. It would probably go over the heads of really little children, but if your family doesn't have any really small children, this is a great choice. It's so witty and fun and clever, and it's just hitting all the right notes for our family. Christmas. Choose a book that's full of happiness and that made you warm inside after reading it. For this one, this might be a weird pick, but I'm going to pick True Grit by Charles Portis. This is a Western. You probably have seen one of the movies, or at least heard of the movies that were made from it. And bad stuff happens in it. It's not like necessarily a super cheery story, but what makes me smile and what makes me so happy is the writing, the dialogue in it, the way the characters are written. Just brings a smile to my face. Charles Portis is such a great writer, and I highly recommend, even if you're not a fan of Westerns, which I'm generally not. I've probably only read 5 or 6 Westerns in my life. This book just hits all the right notes. It's wonderful. Number 5, Santa Claus. He brings wonderful presents. Choose a book that you'd like to get for Christmas. For this one, I'm going with Queen and Country, the Definitive Edition, number 1, by Greg Rucka and various artists. Queen and Country is the story of a secret agent, kind of James Bond type cloak and dagger person, spy, I guess, would be a shorter way for me to say all of what I just said. Her name is Tara Chance, and the interesting thing about this is there's 3 novels about this character, but the character actually started in this series of comic books, Queen and Country. I've read the novels and I love them. I love this character, and those are also by Greg Rucka. And so I really want to get into the comic books and kind of see what those are all about. So I would love to find this under the tree. Number 6, Snow Bowling. It can be painful to be hit by a snowball. Choose a book that hurt, that made you feel some strong emotion like sadness or anger. This is a book I just talked about in my last video, Eleanor by Jason Gurley. That one is a very emotional read for me. It is a good book. I do recommend it, but lots of really sad stuff happened, and I felt a lot of emotions while reading that one. Number 7, Sledding. We all loved it when we were younger. Choose a book that you loved when you were a child. For this one, I'm going to go with The Chronicles of Narnia. I loved these books so much when I was a kid. I think there was a time, and I believe it was 5th grade, where I didn't read anything else. I just read these books over and over again. I loved them so much. Number 7, Frostbite. Choose a book that you were really disappointed in. Oh man, the book that I've been most disappointed in my entire reading life in was Son of Rosemary by Ira Levin. Ira Levin is probably my favorite writer of all time, and he's only written, I think, 6 novels. unless I'm forgetting one, I think 6 novels, and I love all the rest. And I really tried to savor them. I saved actually this one for last of all his books. So not only was it a book that I did not like, but I knew that this was the last new book by this author I was going to ever read, and it was so disappointing. Number 9, Reindeer. Something that's dear to us. Choose a book that's of great sentimental value to you. That would be American Gods by Neil Gaiman. The reason this book is sentimental to me is that I lived in St. Paul, Minnesota for a number of years. And during this time, Neil Gaiman lived in Minneapolis, and he was doing like a lot of talks and a lot of readings at the various local libraries and bookstores during this time. So I heard him talk a lot, and it just so happened that that was during the time when he was writing American Gods. So I heard him talk about this book a lot before it came out. I heard him read a lot of excerpts of this book before it came out, and I was so excited when it finally did come out, and it lived up to my expectations. I really liked this book. I know not everyone does, but for me, it's a great book, and it's awesome to have this book that I got that he signed it. I believe it was the day it came out. I went to the signing and got him to sign it and personalize it to me, and I kind of got to share with him, how awesome it was to hear so many talks and to kind of watch him go through the writing process. So that was the Winter is Coming tag. Thanks so much for watching. I will talk to you next time. Bye.